Bungie has reportedly canceled Marathon's paid advertising campaigns. This is very interesting, seeing as, I mean, if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, this game has faced what I think is some serious scrutiny. PlayStation's live service approach has not necessarily focused on an organic means of roping in what I think, or who I think are, its most important demographics. The most important demographics for PlayStation is its core user base. But for some strange reason, I don't think they're really interested in this core user base in bringing them along with the live service thing. Perhaps they have that EA exec mindset where they're like, the core player base is going to buy anything. We just need to go out there and find new folk. Now, here's the thing. I wanted to go ahead and talk about what I think is PlayStation's best bet to actually leverage and succeed in live service offerings. The pathway is not an easy one to actually follow through with, but the pathway is right in front of them. In fact, they're investing in a company that's seemingly going to go ahead and knock it out the park using that specific pathway. If you haven't even noticed by now, the answer is even in front of you. You can just take what is right in front of you as you're watching this video, and you would have garnered my conclusion and walked away. Do I still need to show you? Do I still need to tell you? Okay. Well, it's Elden Ring. PlayStation is investing in Kadokawa, who is the parent company of From Software, and From Software is leveraging its core audience, sticking with the things that they like, carrying them along, and introducing them to new aspects of their gaming experience, and it's paying off. It may not hit that insane payoff point that any might think about. However, it is a pathway that has been leveraged not just by From Software, but by others. But the reason I put From Software in front of everybody is simply because of the fact that they're investing in the company, and their recent success is much more apparent after all is said and done. So what is going on here? Well, Elden Ring Night Reign is coming out pretty soon, right? And for those of you who may or may not be playing, or who may not care, maybe you don't like, From Software's game and all of that stuff, you do know that that game is going to carry on what I think is a lot of, publicity, right? There's going to be a lot of eyes on the game. Do you know why? Because Elden Ring was that game that got a lot of eyes on it. It was a game made for a core audience, modified a little bit. There was that small tweak. You got a spectral steed. Oh my God, it's a big tweak. Because I remember an old school Dark Souls player that was a colleague of mine. He was arguing with me. He said, man, Elden Ring is not a Souls-like game in the traditional sense. He was telling me about the good old Dark Souls games. It's like, well, you have to walk over the swamps and you have to do all this. And the game basically didn't have so many bonfires, whereas Elden Ring had all these sites of grace. And I'm like, yeah, they understood and they knew that their game was difficult and was kind of niche. So in order for them to make sure that they could bring in more people, they, number one, made a game that had its core aspects in terms of the game. They didn't name it Dark Souls, even though they originally wanted to name it Dark Souls 4. Because if you guys remember, what's the Game of Thrones writer that kind of helped them build the lore for it? George Martin or something. I don't know. I don't remember his name. He said on stage that he got contacted by these guys to help him write a lore for Dark Souls 4. That's what I think they originally wanted the project to look like. Now, if they had a different name, maybe they hid it that way and just gave him another name. So in case he blabbed, he could blab the wrong thing or whatever it is. And so in doing that, they've basically come around, and now they've made a popular IP out of it, right? Their Souls fans are on board because they know this is not a Dark Souls game. The general audience is on board because they know that, okay, this is a game that they can probably stomach. And some of them have eventually found out, oh, we actually love Dark Souls after playing Elden Ring. And now they're extending it and taking on the next logical phase, which would be the live service option and bringing that core audience along the line with them. Hence, if you look on, say, the PlayStation Store, you'll notice that on the top pre-orders, one game is actually thriving. And behold, that game is Elden Ring Night Reign. Right here. Look at it. You see it? You see it? Now, like I said, you could have stopped the video 30, 40 seconds in, I gave you an out. I said, hey, you got your answer. If you want to dip out, sure. If you hung around, I appreciate you. But I'm seeing the fruits of what's going on here, because these copies in terms of this game are already paid copies in that regard. And the game has already basically gone ahead to make its way in the #1 spot. Now, it's coming soon. It's the more recent game that's going to be coming, so naturally you're going to see this. But somebody help me figure out some of the other games that are coming out in close proximity to Night Rain. Where are they being ranked? For instance, not that Death Stranding did anything, but let's look at that. Let's look at what Death Stranding 2's release date is. June 26th. Okay, so that's right before Night Rain. I think Elden Ring Night Rain is on the 30th. Right? Am I wrong? When is it? Oh, May 30th. I'm sorry. It comes out in May. I apologize. I thought it was a June. Oh. This is exciting. I already pre-ordered a copy. we're not even doing that. Mind's Eye. Oh, this game is facing a lot of trouble. June 10th. I remember this one. Right? This one is still yet to figure out itself. It doesn't have any of that, audience, player base, or whatever it is. What is Destiny 2's Year of Prophecy Ultimate Edition? Year of Prophecy, July 15th. Oh, that's really big. Interesting. That, Bungie is over here canceling marketing for freaking Marathon, but their core game, even as much as they've almost mucked the whole thing up, is still one that people are still pining for. You see it, right? I mean, are you seeing it in real time? So, PlayStation has a pathway forward, but it's an expensive pathway because they've misappropriated, in my opinion anyways, how they've chosen to, apply. I'm trying to pick my words very carefully. Their investments. I mean, think about it. What were they spending all that money doing? They were busy money hiding games. That's one waste. The second one, they were busy throwing out all kinds of live service games, right? That's all waste. They had a pathway. Every single PlayStation game was actually, littered with a pathway to do this. But for some reason, it just seemed like the Battle Royale money was actually the most important thing. For instance, The Last of Us Factions was the one that I think could have really, really done a good deal of damage in terms of bringing in a game that worked. But they canceled it. This would have been a survival-based game. This would have been your freaking Ark Raiders, your PUBG in Zombieland. That would have been it. Huge player base. Huge naming, name recognition. Huge everything. They could have gone in with that paradigm. That would have been insane. But Neil Druckmann decided he wanted to be in Hollywood more than he wanted to be in gaming. So they were like, sure, Neil. I'm like, what? Is the IP not yours? Anyways, seems like they don't want to make money. So they let Neil Druckmann go start making a TV show. Y'all know he's actually been doing some work in relation to the TV show, right? They've been letting him do some stuff in there. It's like he and Kojima have this, I don't know what to call it, for Hollywood. I have not seen anything like it before in my life. It almost seems like it's almost poetic, the fact that he hired a Hollywood person to come in and write The Last of Us 2. Maybe that was his inroad into Hollywood. Maybe trying to shield himself from the corporal thing that can happen within the ranks of gaming. So in case maybe something, didn't go his way, he can quickly pivot to Hollywood quickly. I don't know. It just seemed really strange to see if that's his interest, I'm not saying he shouldn't pursue it. I'm just saying it's interesting. Wow, what a rabbit trail I just chased. What a tangent over there. But seeing as PlayStation did not leverage all of this, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to find themselves in a very interesting place. With Fair Games being in a strange place as well, this is where they need to return to if they really want anything like that. Unless, of course, they don't care about their audiences and they're just going to do what they want to do. Talk to me in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Peace out.